Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, the sequel to this game. Now, in 91 days from today. In case you somehow missed it, yesterday was a Nintendo Direct, a new one, where they have, as expected, shown us more about Tears of the Kingdom. A new trailer dropped. Honestly, I would say some people expected them to show even more, but I do think they did show quite a bit, and some people are also happy about this. I do think, however, that there's at least a chance that there's going to be one more trailer very close to release, some sort of release trailer. Given that the game has its now confirmed $70 price tag, I think some people, they could try making some people even more interested in it, and the people that don't want to see more can just simply skip out on that release trailer. I think that's something that could happen. They also have actually officially, numbered the trailers. The trailer from the previous Direct is now trailer 1, and the trailer from yesterday is now officially trailer 2, kind of acknowledging the other two pieces of like footage we've seen before as like teasers, I guess. That being said, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about again for this channel, and I won't obviously focus on everything today. I already uploaded a trailer reaction and analysis on this channel, so if you go to the channel and you want to see my first impressions to it and my first analysis, that's up. I still actually agree with most things I've said about that from yesterday, but a lot of people have already come out and pointed out some small details that I want to specifically talk about. And what I wanted to talk about today is something that has been rumored for a while that I almost feel like is basically confirmed now, which is that Tears of the Kingdom is gonna have some sort of crafting system. The reason I'm so confident on this is essentially because we have now seen this new Moblin / Bokoblin design. I used it on the thumbnail. I think the Japanese Nintendo Twitter called it the Boss Bokoblin. They're kind of like this hybrid between Bokoblin and Moblin. I would say just like a big boy Bokoblin. And their horn is essentially an axe. Like, you can't really describe it any other way. We've seen some of the other horn designs. So the Zalfos ones looking particular like swords. The Bokoblin ones looking particular like some sort of spear. We've also seen Link use an arrow, actually around back there somewhere. No, where is it? Like back there somewhere is where that scene plays, where he kind of has this homing arrow that almost looks like has an Octorok balloon attached to it, very much resembling some sort of crafting shenanigans. And then we have also seen Link driving around with various vehicles, from cars to spaceship-looking glider machines to like balloons, which also prominently feature this green glue, which might be a new ability that Link can basically control with his new powers from his arm. So basically crafting and like building things seems to be a major element, or at least a somewhat prevalent, somewhat existent element in the game. And I have always said in the past that I don't necessarily need crafting to be in the game. For me, crafting systems are usually or often kind of, they exist and then I kind of forget that they do. Elden Ring is for me the best example where there is technically a big crafting system that I never ended up touching. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the same this time though. In Tears of the Kingdom, the crafting system seems to be much more ingrained into the game. So I'm assuming durability is still going to be a thing, but maybe there's going to be additional crafting, and it looks like there is some crafting that might be permanent. We've seen in the past Link's flamethrower shield extension, and I talked about this in my analysis. Now in Tears of the Kingdom, we basically see the same dragon head looking thing attached to some stick, and with this stick, Link can basically throw out bombs to use them from range. Now, there has actually been a tweet by Yuda that I can link in the pinned comment again. Yuda is a Taiwanese, has always been a big glitch hunter and combat player. And he pointed out that you can actually see on the bottom of this rocket bomb throw launcher contraption. You can actually see a specific symbol, a Zonai looking symbol. This exact symbol, you'll see it in the tweet, is actually shown on the, we have always presumed this to be a Zonai creature from the very, I think not the very first, but like the second teaser. It's this this creature we've always assumed is somewhat related to the Zonai. It's like a green robot. Again, the tweet will make much more sense. There's essentially a symbol on there. And this specific symbol is also visible on, for example, the car's wheels and the spaceship's like main structure. So all of these seem to be connected. This seems to probably be some sort of official Zonai technology. The Zonai might teach us about how to build these things, and then we can use the green arm power, which also seems to be related to the Zonai tribe, at least that's what we think right now, in some way to actually connect different parts. We, for example, seen Link fish out one of these parts out of a pond on the Great Plateau, one of the wheels. So there seems to be two types of crafting, essentially, in my mind. One being, also I need to make sure that I actually, Hyrule Garrison Ruins. Okay, I got the location there. There seems to be crafting related to weapons and arrows, in terms of getting enemies' horns or enemies' parts to actually make them into weapon parts. And then there also seems to be crafting in terms of building vehicles. I don't know how that's gonna work. If you have to build it every single time, that sounds very tedious. Or if you have to build it a single time and then you can, like, maybe that's also a feature later in the game. Maybe later in the game you can, like, scan them in some way and then just spawn them in. Because building a whole car with glue and 4 wheels every time after finding them in the world seems a bit over the top. I feel like it would make more sense that you get these parts in the world. Once you have the parts available, there's some sort of like tool shop or whatever where you have all of your parts available, and then you can build different machines with them and then use them from there. One thing where this might, for example, be possible could be the green spirals we've seen. One of those green spirals are basically terminals that we can access where we can use our parts to you know, spawn in our cars and gliding machines and balloons. Those could be essentially spawners for those constructions. Again, for the weapon crafting, I don't know exactly how to feel about the dragon head weapons. They all so far seem pretty gimmicky. We got a flamethrower, a bomb shooter, which we're also gonna have to see if they're like extremely powerful or extremely versatile, or if they're just another way of dealing damage. I can already tell though that the combat montages using flamethrowers and bomb launchers are gonna go crazy. But when it comes to weapons, I am interested to see. I'm interested to learn more about them. We haven't really seen a lot of weaponry, and the weaponry that we did see seemed quite ancient. So there is maybe a chance that we are actually downgrading in terms of weapons, and we have less of like royal broadswords and stuff, and we actually have to tap in more into crafting our own weapons to be able to do damage, and then maybe over time unlock more potential ways of dealing damage, like the rocket launcher, or that's what I'm gonna call it, the bomb launcher, like the flamethrower. And if we don't utilize those, we actually do have to use the crafting system. I, again, don't know if I would like that, especially if durability is involved still. I think that would make weapons even more scarce. You have to now, like, manage your weapons and also need to make sure that you can actually craft new ones when you need to. Also, I don't have any arrows equipped, so wind bombing won't be possible. But yeah, that's something that time will tell. Again, in the past, I've never been a big crafting system enjoyer, but maybe this game will sell me on it. The vehicles itself obviously look really cool at first glance. However, from somebody that's obviously speedrun the game and has basically had the flying machine in the game before, I talked about this in the previous video, and you may have seen it yourself. In this game, you can essentially already build a flying machine by combining 2 minecarts and magnesis. I saw a couple takes on Twitter, people wondering if Nintendo literally took that as inspiration, which would have been hilarious, because that was definitely a very, very popular glitch that was basically everywhere. But we'll see how useful they feel. In terms of like the speed, I mentioned this in my analysis. The car or even the spaceship didn't look like completely out of this world, but definitely solid options. So we'll see how they actually feel to play with. Well, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about in these next videos. Let me know what you want to discuss first as well, or what you would like to hear my thoughts on in terms of new footage that we've seen. We have everything from the new enemies, the enemy designs more in particular, like the Redads, to potentially, a lot of people call this dragon, where is it? Where's the bridge? Gleeok, who was already referenced in this bridge. Its design looks pretty similar. We've seen this three-headed dragon on the Bridge of Hylia around here. So it's obviously interesting to see if there's going to be some connection, or if they just happen to basically share the same design. I will probably wrap it up here today, though. Again, we gotta pace ourselves. I'm about to reach 66% here. And we do have a bunch of stuff to talk about, probably for the next like 20 days. So expect more theory crafting on the game for a while, and then I will probably have more guests around again as we get closer to release. I do really think there's a good chance that there's going to be one more final release trailer, but obviously no promises on that. Let me know what you think about crafting, and if you think what I explained here makes sense. I think it does seem very likely that there will definitely be, at least if not for weapons, even though I think it will also be for weapons, at least some sort of vehicle crafting. Maybe you can access them from the green spirits on the ground. Maybe you have to build them every single time. We don't know. But very interesting. We're going to have to see how it plays. Thank you for watching again. Tears of the Kingdom tomorrow will be out in 90 days. So we are about to breach the next 10-day barrier. And before we know it, we're going to be in the final 10 days. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow.